Got a few riders down in the first corner.
Carter.
Number 5 there of Carter. Many consider a championship contender coming into this weekend. Not the way he wants to start off his 2015 MX Nationals campaign. As coming out, we got the number 43. Huge crash for Wilson Todd. No, sorry, that was Mitchell Evans.
Yeah, Wilson Todd there. Interesting to see Wilson Todd actually riding. I spoke to him last night, and he's got a fractured elbow and some injuries also on the side of his body. So he was very unsure he was actually even going to race this weekend. He was just going to see how qualifying went, so it was great to see him up there in second position.
Now here's one of the rookies, Connor Tierney, on the Husqvarna out front. Quantified in the number 11 spot, but a guy that I've heard a lot about, not someone I'm too familiar with, bringing a lot of speed to the first round of the Under-19 series. Out front, running that big number 7 on the two-stroke. Looking good, and in second place, that is the number 41 of Wilson Todd. So broken elbow and hip and all, Wilson Todd is doing what a lot of motocrossers need to do in their career, and that's tough it out. Brendan, I'm sure you've experienced that before, riding with injuries.
Yeah, definitely, and he knows that he's here for a championship, and you know you're going to miss the first round. It's going to be hard to fight back and get those points back. So it's awesome to see him. You know, not good for him to be having to tough it out, but great to see him doing it and making it happen.
And such a fantastic result too. He's up there in the second place position. You look for him to make the pass early on in this moto. You know, we're not so familiar on the leader. However, Wilson Todd, very familiar with this class. He knows the long races. However, starting to come under a little bit of pressure.
Looks like we've got the number 88 of Jordan Hill in third position. Jordan Hill running the Yamaha. Now these are a few riders that we are not too familiar with, as this is the entry level to the MX National Series, and essentially a lot of these guys come up from juniors. I've seen and heard a little bit about Hill from his junior days, but carrying a lot of speed right now, and looks to be moving into that number 3 spot, putting pressure on the number 2 ride there. Interesting to see what these guys can do. You know, Many was the favourite, too many. Wilson Todd was the favourite for this year. Of course, being injured definitely doesn't help his chances, but you know, we all witnessed last year, Aiden, at Gladstone what Wilson Todd could do with a good start.
Oh, wow, and didn't he blow us all away? He stepped up, and what we were talking about was the ruttiest, gnarliest track of the calendar. Wilson Todd steps up and just obliterates the entire field.
He really did, and it was an interesting stat that him and Luke Albon both hole-shotted, both on 250Fs in their respective classes.
4 seconds quicker or something there?
I cannot remember the second count now, but we had it as a stat last year, and it was a ridiculous amount of how much quicker Wilson Todd was than Luke Albon. And it goes to show how fast that under-19s class was last year. Now the majority of them have moved up into the Moto MX2 class, as Wilson Todd rides right around the outside there.
That's a gnarly turn there. You see a lot of the guys having a lot of trouble with that.
Yeah, and that's we explained earlier about how much the track has changed from, you see, you know, Dan riding around this morning, and it was, you know, pretty much as smooth as a bowling green, and now you look at it now and how many ruts, and it's good to see that there's multiple lines. Like a few of the guys, he can make a pass by going around the outside, which is so good to see, and that's for a racer, that's what you want. You want multiple lines.
Yeah, you really do. Now, I think we've got the number, looks to be the number 38 right there in the 4th position, sorry, 36 of Jaden Rikers. So Rikers a guy that showed a lot of speed last year and actually ran up front for quite a bit of the series. So
that's a huge case on that uphill triple.
You know, again,
made the pass
in the number 3 spot. That triple has been claiming a lot of victims today, a lot of cases. Definitely not the easiest jump to get over. And as we see Hill there, and then the number 7 ride of Connor Tierney going at it, and behind them is Rikers. But what I was about to touch on, guys, second year under-19s is a veteran in the class. You pretty much got 2 years to get in, get a championship, and get out. So for guys like Wilson Todd and Jaden Rikers, if they want to secure a ride next year in the lights class, they've really got to do some work this year.
Oh, is that?
It's the number 85 right there. That is, can't have him on my running sheet right now, but as we go back to the 88 right there of Hill, looking very solid. Then it's the number 7, then it's the 36 of Rikers.
It's good to see they put the hay bales out there so you can't run down the inside of the track there.
Yeah, I think a few of the guys were getting a bit creative there, which the edges of the track at the MX Nationals are always the smoothest, but the edges are also the closest to the official scrutiny of whether you're going to be getting points docked and positions docked or not. So it's a balancing act for these guys, trying to find smooth lines but stay within the rules and the confines of the course.
Exactly. good to see here of as Jordan Hill he's riding. It's actually really smooth. He's riding the ruts really, really well, and it's good to see Wilson Todd still up there. It's, I can imagine he's in a tremendous amount of pain. So
yeah, personally, well, getting the old
front wheel right up.
Getting the Kyle Partridge Supercross whoop section wheelie going on there for Jordan Hill, but as a guy that myself has a completely destroyed elbow from my junior days racing and not much movement, no cartilage left, I can tell you that riding with a broken elbow is not much fun. So props to Wilson Todd, who's making it work out front right now, and if he can nurse that injury through the start of the season, when he returns to full health, that's bad news for the rest of the field. But let's go and give you guys at home a top 10 rundown 6 minutes into this first Pirelli MXD Moto 1 race. Wilson Todd out front, Jordan Hill in the number 2 ride, Jaden Rikers in the number 3 ride. Then we got Connor Tierney, Dylan Wilson, Zach Small, Luca Bela, Jesse Madden, Jaden Corrigan, Trent Wheatley, Joel Addison, Wade Carter coming back through the number 12 ride from that crash, Bailey Coxon, Johnny Reinders, and Travis Silk. That is your top 15 right now here at the round 1 of the Pirelli MXD class, Moto 1. Pirelli tyres, Scorpion, the champion's choice, as we head back to Wilson Todd. Changing up the team look a little bit this year with the Axo gear switching up. It's the same sponsor they had for a few years now, but it's definitely looking a bit different in 2015. Jordan Hill, tell you what, Brendan, he's keeping Wilson Todd pretty honest. Yeah, and
I have noticed a little bit here with Wilson Todd. He is picking some smooth lines. He's come wide into turns, and I'm just wondering if that's because of his elbow.
Yeah, he probably doesn't have the strength to go through the square edges and the deep holes, which might become an issue in Moto 2, Aiden.
Definitely. The track's going to get a lot rougher throughout the day. As we've spoken about a whole lot, you know, testament to the Horsham Club. I myself was sitting here worrying maybe the track was a little too dry early on in the day. However, it's held up very, very well, and the ruts are just getting deeper and the bumps are getting bigger. Wilson Todd, however, he's a very smooth guy. You know, he's very smart. He's done this class before. He knows how to ride. And he's looking for... Oh, as Wilson Todd goes down. Just as we're saying how smooth of a rider he is. Very few mistakes. Wilson Todd drops the front wheel and goes down. That'll be giving Hill the lead.
I'm hoping for Wilson's sake that his injury was on the left side of his body, because he took a straight slam to that elbow on the right. So, well, I guess we're going to find out. Now we've got Jordan Hill and Jaden Rikers 1 and 2. And both these guys are going to be hungry for a moto win. I know that for sure. Hill's looking real good. A guy that I watched last year, actually coming back to my memory in the Supercross class in the juniors, looking very strong. So someone, I think he took the victory in the rookie class of Supercross in the championship. So obviously someone who knows how to get it done. And Jordan Hill stepping up on the 250F machine, but Rikers is not going to make it easy for him. He's hot on his heels in the KTM 2-stroke. Interesting fact, Rikers is actually someone, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's moved down to Victoria to train and ride this year. A lot of guys have actually done that. Luca Bela, another rider here, running in the top 10 in 10th place, a rider from the Northern Territories who've moved down. She actually ride and train on my program down here in the south side of Victoria. A lot of the younger riders are starting to see that, you know, there's a lot going on in Victoria right now for riding and training, you know, between trainers, coaches, and places to ride during the week, which is very important for the future of the sport. And a lot of these guys are moving down to make that happen.
Yeah, up in Queensland, we're lacking a few tracks. You know, there's a few tracks getting shut down from complaints and whatnot. So like you said, there may be a few more people moving down this way, because there is a lot of facilities down here, and it's very essential for the racing, and a lot of tracks and a lot of training guys and facilities. It's really on.
It's something that, you know, is a good sign for the future of the sport in this country, and especially at the entry level to the series, which is the Pirelli MXD under-19s class. You see these guys stepping through, and you know, a lot of these riders, they're still amateurs. They're still on their parents' dollar. They're still getting everything funded by mum and dad and the few sponsors that they have. As Jordan Hill utilising that mono again, he's looking super smooth. Yeah. Like I said before, someone that has a lot of Supercross skill. For them, you know, mum and dad are paying for a lot. They only run 8 out of the 10 rounds. They don't go in the state every weekend like a lot of the MX1 and MX2 privateers will. But for these guys, this is the future of our sport. This is the guys in 3 to 4 to 5 years you're going to be seeing in the MX1 class winning championships. So very important for them to have a solid infrastructure and training program behind them. And like I said, Rikers and a few of the other guys like Abela and that, they're taking the chance and they're utilising it. They're moving to Victoria to make that work. So 10 minutes in, Jordan Hill out front. Jaden Rikers, then Wilson Todd, who went down out front. Interesting to note that Wilson Todd just threw the fastest lap time out of anybody of the 156. So a full second faster than Jordan Hill, a full 2 seconds faster than Jaden Rikers. And we got D. Wilson. Dylan Wilson actually had a few guest rides last year on the Raceline Pirelli Suzuki. Conondale, I believe, he blew his shoulder out last year. That was his first debut ride on that team in the under-19s. And D, younger brother to Jay Wilson, as you know, Brendan, known to be very fast, very talented on the bike, but's had a little bit of trouble with injuries and putting it all together.
Yeah, definitely. He's also had a pretty good off-season, I think. I don't think he's had any injuries. I know we've had a couple of little stadium cross races up home. So, and he did a supercross race at the end of last year and actually beat Jay in one of the sprint races. So that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, really, really good to see him up here now in 4th position. Wilson Todd there 2nd.
Wade Carter moving into the number 5 ride now.
From dead last. We saw him, Wade Carter, go down the first turn. As you said, Joe, definitely a championship favourite coming into this. It was Wade's 2nd year, however, he didn't finish out the season last year. Went to the actual off-roads, I believe. Now, Wade Carter back, very fast, all the way coming through juniors. We saw a lot of potential from Wade Carter. He's already moved up to the 5th place position.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Wade Carter. He, are we missing a seat on Jaden Rikers right now?
Seat, so
oh my goodness. That is not the track you want to not have a seat right now.
Well, I have seen him sit down a couple of times too. So
I think the definition of monkey butt is definitely going to be coming in for Jaden Rikers at the end of this moto, because he's got 8 minutes left plus a lap. Oh my goodness, that is not going to feel good.
It's got to be rough coming out of those square edge acceleration
For all you riders at home, you guys all know what it feels like to sit on a bike with square edge track for 20 minutes without a seat. I don't know if that's something a lot of people have experienced, but we're going to see how tough Jaden Rikers is right now, because, well, that wouldn't want to be me right now, I tell you that much. And let's go back, Aiden, and talk about Carter. You know, we're both from Victoria. He's a Victorian rider, and let's be honest, one of the most freakishly, naturally talented riders I've ever seen on a bike.
And not only in recent years, you know, Wade Carter has always been a very, very talented rider. I remember going to the Junior Australian titles in Western Australia, actually, I'd say around 09, and Wade, a natural talent on the bike. His ability is second to none. It was just really finding the fitness and the consistency for Carter, and it seems like he might have found that. Unfortunately, you know, crashing the first turn. However, in 12 minutes to go from dead last to 5th place in such a strong field, it's a real testament to his training.
It really is, and I'm going to go ahead and not call him out as such, but I don't know if he's suffered with arm pump. That's some of the rumours I've heard. He's not a rider I've had a lot to do with in terms of talking to him or anything, but seems like a rider either suffers with fitness, arm pump, or maybe just a little bit of determination when the chips are down. You know, he did jump between off-road and motocross last year, but I love watching him ride, and such potential on a bike, such a good style. And I think he's going to be someone that can do damage this year if he really does stick it out. As you say, last place to 5th right now. We're only 13 minutes in. That's a pretty good accomplishment in its own right. But Jaden Rikers is holding off Wilson Todd with no seat. For you guys at home, this is the equivalent of riding around on your dad's chopper on a motocross track and trying to hit square edge bumps and...
just a little bit of suspension.
Just a little bit. I'm not comparing... as we've got to write it down, who is that? Can't get a number on him right now. Looks like a privateer rider with the Yamaha setup there. Not comparing the KTM to a Harley Davidson by any means, but that's how it's going to feel in your butt trying to keep that bike in check. Still trying to get an idea. That's the 602, it looks like, of holding it. Oh, that wrist does not look good. That wrist is...
That's definitely kicking that wrist. So unfortunate coming to the first round.
Lockie Latimer, sorry. That is Lockie Latimer on the 602.
It is Latimer. So unfortunate for Latimer coming into the first round. I'm sure he had high hopes, you know, definitely a top 10 consistent rider. And, you know, just mistakes like this happen. This is motocross, this is what we all do. It's just very unfortunate to see him go down when I'm sure so much hard work's already gone in.
Unfortunately, the sport is a fickle beast, and sometimes those riders that put in the most work have the least favourable results, and that's unfortunately how it goes in this game. But it's the same in any sport. You see football players, you know, they put in an immaculate preseason just to blow a hamstring or ACL at the first game. So it's nothing new to anybody, and unfortunately with the juniors, with the MXD riders, the younger guys coming through, their consistency isn't what it needs to be yet. That's why they're learning. That's why we have this Pirelli MXD sport class, because if these guys got thrown in the deep end with the likes of the, you know, the Moto MX2 class winners like Jed Beaton, you know, like Luke Cloud, guys that, you you know, if they didn't have their years in the support class, would have got eaten alive in that class. So it's good to see these guys having the opportunity. And as you can probably relate to, Brendan, as a rider, riding the local races, riding the amateur races, the track is completely different to National Day.
Yeah, and that's one thing, is also getting to ride the national tracks, like you said, and not having the pressure of having to race against the pro-like guys who do it actually full professionally. But then again, it's also getting the feel of actually winning races and putting yourself in the front. So it teaches you a lot, and I think it's a great class, and people learn a lot from it. We've actually had a lot of champions come through that have actually gone up and won lights and also open championships.
Yes, for sure.
I believe you won a championship, didn't you, Brendan?
Yeah, I won 19s, yeah.
What year was that?
It was the inaugural year, it was 2007.
There you go. Our commentator now, and see a 10-second penalty for the number 327. That is the 327 machine of Corey Watts. Now, I'm assuming that 10-second penalty is coming out for cutting the track, because we have a lot of officials out there, and at Riders Briefing yesterday, it was a big notable point that anyone going inside of the markers or outside to find smooth lines would be penalised. And our officials here at the series are on point, and they're not going to let that happen. But you know what? I'm looking at the 88 right now, Jordan Hill. He's
solid.
It's looking very solid, turning competitive lap times. Wilson Todd was just a little bit faster on a 156, but Hill's got track position. And
reminds me a lot of Jed Beaton, actually, sorry there, Joe, on the bike. Rides like quite far over the front. He's a taller kid. Looks like he muscles that bike around, but so smooth, so consistent. Not a mistake that we've seen from him yet.
Yeah, it's definitely maintaining that speed, and it looked like he did in the Supercross series and juniors before that. Jordan Hill picking up right where he left off last year by winning. So we got 3 minutes plus a lap left. Wade Carter still in the number 5 position. D. Wilson in the number 4.
Seeing the timing here, Wilson Todd is pulling the fastest times. He has, nearly 3 seconds on Jordan Hill for the lead, so I wonder if he can make a comeback towards the end of the moto.
Yeah, this last lap, I was actually reading the laps before there. They've stepped things up, and Todd running 3 almost full seconds faster. So Jaden Riker's on a 1 second behind our leader lap time, but looks like Wilson Todd's a man on the move, but I'm not seeing him in frame yet. So Wilson's got to keep his head down, his butt up, and keep moving, because this guy Jordan Hill is going to mono these first 3 rollers like that every lap and keep really solid style. He's just going to keep counting these laps down, because track position pays dividends when we get to the tail end of the moto. It's 18 minutes in, we have 2 minutes plus 1 lap. 2 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Jordan Hill still out front on the Yamaha machine. Jordan Hill qualifying in the number 6 position. Best lap time for 2:05 this morning. So best lap time of this moto is at 1:57. So that goes to show you how much we've got an 8-second differential between qualifying and qualifying in Moto 1. So you can really see how much this track has come around. And like you said, Adam, we was all a bit skeptical. It might be too good in practice, but this track is holding good. And honestly, one of the best prepared tracks I've seen in a long time for the MX Nationals this early in the year.
Yeah, I was speaking to Kenny Watts yesterday, the club president. He said they've been preparing this track for the last 2 weeks. It was ready to go on Wednesday. Get that water nice and deep in there. We don't want no crust on top. They knew that the weather was going to be warm, so we didn't want that dry top on top of it. And a true testament to the Horsham club. They've really come out here and they've really turned some heads. It's very drought-ridden out here. The Horsham, they struggle a lot for water out these ways, definitely far west of Victoria. But they've turned it on, and we could not ask for anything more for the first round of the MX Nationals.
We certainly would like to give a shout out and a thank you to our association of the MX Nationals with the Horsham City Council and all of their support for bringing this event to the wonderful tourist district of the Grampians. So wouldn't be able to be possible having this event without the support of everybody on board. And Horsham City Council was definitely one of them driving forces for this event. As we come back to the 19 minutes and 35-second mark, Jordan Hill will be getting the final lap, last lap board, coming through the finish area here in just a minute. And to be honest, guys, it's been a bit of a yawner this first moto. Hill's checked out, and once Wilson Todd went down, he's made this one look easy.
Yeah, he's pretty much, since Wilson Todd went down, he's just ridden a really smart race and just been consistent and made no mistakes. So he's ridden a perfect race.
As you see there, Jaden Riker's finally coming into frame about 10 to 15 seconds back.
Yeah, I think it looked like Wilson Todd was on him there.
Was right there. Yeah. So there they go through the whoops. Actually, I think that's actually D. Wilson making the move now on D making the move on Rikers there. So Wilson moving up. D Wilson, that is, not Wilson Todd.
And that's what's so exciting about the MXD class. You know, we come in, Hill, very, very unspoken rider in juniors. We don't really see a whole lot of guys unless you go to the Junior Australian titles, which is a race over, you know, one week. That's all you've got to prove yourself. We step out into this MXD, you know, they're racing on the national circuit. There's all the fans here, there's all the signage, you know, the cameras, everything here, and Hill's just stepping up to it.
This is the pressure cooker situation here, and you see a lot of guys, like we mentioned, if there wasn't for this MXD class, similar to a lot of countries in Europe, at the World GPs, they have the European 125 and 250 championships that follow the GP season. If you were to step in as a hyped up junior into the Moto MX2 class, all the media attention, all the cameras, all the spotlights, like we just said, it is a recipe for disaster with these young riders who, some of them are just 15, 16 years old.
And there really is so much more to racing than actually just twisting the throttle and riding yourself around the track. The fitness, obviously we know that there's so much goes into just preparing yourself. One thing we don't talk about a lot, however, is the mentality, the mental side that you need to come into it. Brendan, as a top running race, you know, just stepping away from it, how do you mentally prepare yourself for an event this big?
To be honest, you physically just can't mentally prepare yourself. It's something you've got to get experience and you've got to race.
It is. You only learn through experience, and it is highly important that these guys get that experience at a young age and are able to make that happen moving into the professional ranks after a couple of years. So Jordan Hill, he's looking like a seasoned pro right now, Aidan, and it's safe to say that judging by this first moto of the year, Hill's going to be a championship contender for the 2015 Pirelli MXD season title.
Absolutely, he's really impressing out front, Hill. It's such a hard thing to step up to these circuits, you know, there's so much different to any local race that these kids will be doing. He stepped up the deeper ruts, the bigger bumps, like it's no problem at all.
As we come with one corner left to go, he's going to head up the hill, jump the big triple step up that the Horsham club put in all day long. Jordan Hill's been getting over that no problem. Supercross skills, like I mentioned, and
yeah, we see riders like Luke Cloud in the pro field. You know, they're coming up short. There was 450 guys coming up short.
Jordan Hill, Moto #1 in the Pirelli MXD class, takes the victory. Rookie ride, rookie year for Hill, first Moto win. And he looks like he expected that. He's not even too excited right now. So it's awesome to see Hill take the victory. In second place, D Wilson has made it past Jaden Rikers. So first for Hill, second ride for the number 10 at D Wilson. And third place for Jaden Rikers. Wilson Todd and Wade Carter round out the top 5.
Yeah, I'm really happy with my Pirelli tires. They work really good on the track in all conditions, in the hard pack, and the tires are just awesome on the track.
I choose Pirelli because I believe their success in Europe can also come over here to the USA. I hope to be a massive part of that.
I choose Pirelli because of their racing spirit. They're leaders in all types of motorsports, and motocross and supercross are no different.
Here we are with the first moto up down MX Nationals round 1. Here with Jaden Rikers. Third place, how'd you feel?
Yeah, I felt pretty good. Got a good decent start, made some good passes up behind Jordan, and was pushing and catching a bit until about quarter way through the moto where I lost my seat. So the next 15 minutes was standing up, but no, I felt good.
We did see that. We've seen you sit down a couple of times and we were saying you have a severe case of monkey butt.
Yeah, Monday morning, back on the plane to WA. I don't think I'm going to be sitting down too much with mask. I'm just pretty sore.
Well done, mate. Good on you. And here we are with second place rider, D Wilson. How'd you feel?
Oh, pretty good considering I got a pretty awful start. Like, I come back through pretty good, and I think it was mainly my bike fitness. Like, the last couple of laps, that's when I made all the moves. But you know, just to get a start, I think I can run up front and hopefully do that next moto.
Yeah, well done. Good on you. And here we are with Moto 1 winner, the start of the 2015 season. Good start to the season.
Yeah, no, it's a great feeling, you know, first ever Nationals race in the under-19s, and
sorry about that one.
Got a good start, top 5, and just pushed, and a couple of riders went down before I knew it. I was in the lead and just rode solid the whole moto.
Yeah, perfect. Well, there you go, Moto 1 winner, Jordan Hill.
All right, thanks guys. Amazing action, Aiden, from the first few motos of the day, and if this is anything to go by, Moto 2 is going to be very exciting.
Definitely exciting racing. You know, we've got an awesome track here for the first round. We've got a lot of exciting things, and we're seeing some new guys step up. So it's very exciting times, and I can't wait for the second moto.
That's right. Now, Brendan, are you looking for Matt Moss and some of the more established guys to step up in Moto 2 for the MX1 class?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we don't know exactly what happened to him, but I'm definitely expecting he's here for the championship, and he doesn't want to make that mistake again, and I'm sure he won't.
All right, guys. Well, make sure you come back and tune in at 1:55 p.m. sharp, and we're going to return with all the second moto action here on NRG TV.